the new app he made?
Hype.
Hype.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is Hype? Tell us what Hype is.
I love this app. I'm not going to use it, but I love it. It's one of those. Basically, it's a live streaming app, so you take out your phone, and the camera's on, and people can watch you and chat with you right there while you're doing it. You don't have to record, so you're not worried about saying something stupid or editing something down into like a really good sketch. You're just bored in your room, and others can kind of view you. But the difference, like that's like Periscope, that's like Meerkat, that's like
Commodity.
many things now. Like last year, like 5 of those came up at least. The difference is it's like doing an acid trip and then going on Periscope, right? Like you go in and it's going to be very hard to describe. You got to go see this, but basically, you're not just like full screen on camera, like you just turned your camera on, right? Like you're this circle basically, and then behind you just pick these backdrops. So like the first one I was watching, I came in and there was someone talking, and then they just like switched the background to a bunch of vines that were just looping like almost like America's Funniest Home Videos. I just saw people falling and it was all this crazy stuff. Then he switched it, and there was just pizzas falling down in the background. And then at any time, if anyone touches the screen who's watching, it has this like crazy like sparkles going everywhere. So there's basically like tons of stuff going on, which doesn't sound like a good thing. But when you watch it, it solves the biggest problem of live streaming, which is most people are pretty boring.
Yeah.
So on this, you could just be like, hey, you guys want to listen to music? And you just throw on a CD, and actually like the CD shows up above your head and is playing that song, and you and your viewers are just chilling out to that. At the same time, you can put up a photo from your camera roll, and that's over here, the CD's over here, your video's over here, the crazy pizzas are still going on in the background. There's just so much happening. Like if someone says something in the crowd, if you're listening and you're like, oh, what song is this? Or like, oh, I love this song. I can just grab your comment, like blow it up as big or small as I want on the screen and be like, Jake says he loves this song, and I can literally I just throw it away, and it's like it feels like I can't even explain what it feels like.
When a TV show host, I always felt like when Twitter was integrated into television, like integrated, whatever that means, hosts would always say like, oh, let's go to the tweets. And like they would read some like random tweets that were pulled by the producer, and they would always suck. But like when you can do that, like it actually is going to the tweets.
It's like the weatherman, right? Like, but the green screen is like dope backdrops, and then the thing you're pointing at is not the weather. It's like a funny video or GIF or something. So you're constantly pulling things onto the screen. But they made that simple. You're doing it from your phone. You don't need like all these tools. You don't need to like have the content yourself. There's libraries of stuff you can just be pulling from.
Well, we watched it earlier, and he was doing a game show, and he had like 3 emoji up on the screen.
Who is he?
Russ was the host.
Your boy.
He was
Yo, Russ.
He was demonstrating the app, and like he was very deadpan, which he is, and he was just like saying, "All right, guess what's the word I'm thinking of?" And it would be a bird, a worm, and a sunrise. And it was the early bird gets the worm, and everyone was typing in the answers. That was pretty cool.
I didn't guess that. You got that one.
I know.
So, okay, you said, Sean, I like it, but I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, I like it, meaning I came in, I was entertained, it was something totally new, and I've been working in live streaming, I've tried every live streaming app, so it was like one of those where you open up, you're like, oh, there was just more creativity, I just didn't have it, right? Like, there's so much more in this that, like, I didn't really think was possible to pull off in this way, and when you see it done, you're like, oh.
It wasn't just incremental. Like after Periscope and Facebook Live and even like our product Blab, like some people would be like, oh well, we're gonna have super emojis on the screen, like a rainbow shoots across, like
like not
Superfly, right? Like it's just like that like extra level of like a super like that doesn't really change what this product is.
Yeah, exactly. This one took it to like that next level where there's like it's actually different.
You're doing a different activity.
Yeah, but that still doesn't mean I'm going to use it, right? Like, I'm definitely not going to stream because I'm not trying to be the entertainer, so I think that's like a problem. And then as far as watching, like, I might watch, but like, none of my friends are going to do this. It's only going to be the person, it's going to be like the Viners, right? Like, just like Vine, I thought it was cool. Oh man, I made this looping video, but like, I remember I did the first Vine of like my lunch. I was like going to a food truck, and then I was like, wow, that was easy to make. It looks kind of funky, but like, it's not what I'm gonna like. I'm not gonna do this throughout my day. Just keep making loops of my day. Like that's kind of, it's weird. That's not a weird normal thing to do. And I think they actually thought this was gonna be more like life casting. And then people took Vine in another direction where they were like, what if I made 6-second sketch comedy? And then people made it what Vine became. In the same way, this is gonna be like a handful of people are gonna make awesome, entertaining streams, and that's why I like it. I'm not gonna use it because ain't nobody got time for that.
Vine was like I heard someone compare it to all the stars on Vine to when like the Beatles were making like movies and like of them like doing Hard Day's Night and like they were just being wacky and like the whole group of celebrities like the kids that grew up on Vine becoming famous, they are basically the same thing. Like here's them yucking it up doing skits and like that's how they become famous and everyone gets to know them through like their humor and things like that. I'm wondering about Hype. You want to make a point?
Continue.
wondering about
Yes,
how-
but continue.
Hype looked so different looking at it that I wonder if the same things that we are drawn to, like, are you a beautiful person? Are you super interesting and funny? Like, are you a person of interest already, a celebrity? What's gonna be a successful personality on Hype? Would it be one of those things? Would it be new?
It's gonna be like there are people who you go into their room and they're just like they're jamming out to music on their own, and then they've got this like really cool art on the wall. It's cool people is what I'm
like
what
lots
I'm
of people vaping.
trying to talk about. Yeah. It's
Also that.
It's not gonna be like most live streams where it's somebody just literally sitting in their bed, or it's somebody once in a while pointing at like, hey, I'm backstage at this cool thing. Like that's cool, but they're not there all the time.
So have fun alone maybe is like what this could be.
I think it's got enough tools in it where somebody could keep somebody entertained like twice as long, 3 times as long, or 3 times as often as just like a generic live stream, right? Like we saw what Periscope could do, we saw what Meerkat could do as far as like it's cool to get that kind of raw feeling like you're interacting with this person, you know them, but they're not entertaining enough for me to just choose to stop what I'm doing and watch your live stream often enough.
The recipe for success in any place where you're streaming yourself is you're interesting or what you're doing is interesting. And you're interesting because of like super basic human reasons. You're hot, you're funny looking, or like legitimately I know you from somewhere else.
Right, you're famous.
Yeah. Or what you're doing is interesting. You are skateboarding, your dog is on your surfboard, you are jumping out of a plane, you're playing guitar, but like in this crazy way. And that's always been the case. Like even the earliest YouTube videos that were successful were that same recipe.
Yeah.
And so it's just over time we've accumulated more and more of this snowball of people who we know, therefore people who are inherently interesting. But to start from the beginning, you have to do something that's interesting.
It seems like really like breakthrough apps that are social seem to make it easy to do one of those things. Like if Instagram makes it easy for you to be an amazing photographer and that makes you cool, like an app like this could make that sort of stare into the phone time and talk to the crowd. If that makes that easier for you, like you don't need to think up of another mastermind talk that you're going to give to your audience. Then great, like the barrier is lowered for someone to be interesting because they just don't need to think as much.
Exactly.
So just need to react to the screen.
What's your word on this? So you saw it today. Was
Yeah,
that the first
saw
time
it.
you saw it?
Yeah, it was the first time I saw it, and I only really saw it for like 90 seconds.
Right.
And it was a game show. And the thing, like, what I thought was, wow, if the first thing I saw was random game show, it made me think, like, this is kind of like WarioWare of, like, live streaming, which means, like, there could be a lot of potential, where there's a lot of interaction.
So did you go download it after you saw it for 90 seconds?
I did not, because we had our SmashCon tournament
Right. Fair enough.
Would you?
that I won. Yeah, I'm going to download it. I'm going to check it out and
Okay.
play with it. For sure.
But like to play with apps or to actually use it? Or is there's no differentiation anymore?
No differentiation anymore. I used to explore apps back when I worked in ad tech and I wanted to find where's a good spot for a banner ad. And then I gotta go tell them about it. But now it's like, if I'm downloading an app, it's because I want to eat some candy.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for candy.